Well, top of the morning to you. It's about 6:30 in the morning, actually. We've been getting going earlier and earlier. Kilroy usually heads out about 5:30. Actually, it was 5:45 when he left today. But looks like it's going to be another beautiful day. Heading towards Port Clinton. There's like a place that sells trail snacks and candy and soda. So Kilroy's excited to get his Mountain Dew. He drinks more Mountain Dew than anybody I know. Any chance he gets, he stocks up on Mountain Dew. Actually, Brian drinks a lot of Mountain Dew. I guess mostly for breakfast, though. Anyway, there's supposedly a place to get your hair cut there, so I'm going to get my hair cut. So I'll be looking good tomorrow morning. So actually a pretty nondescript campsite. We're heading to another campsite, 20 and a half. So I think we did about 21 and a half yesterday, and we're doing like 20 and a half today. So tomorrow's hostel day, which is good because it's been 7 days. It'll have been 7 days, and clothes are getting a little dirty in the body as well. Anything comes up, I'll let you know. Oh, actually, did I tell you? Today is Wednesday, May 24th, day 68 on the Appalachian Trail. Signing off. So this is the area that was burned. Looks like they don't actually burn everything. They just must burn the leaf litter and stuff. They leave all the logs and everything. Plenty of firewood. Well, you can see that plants come back pretty quick. But a bunch of ferns, actually a bunch of maple trees coming up. I'm guessing this is our view of the day. Let's see, we can adjust the contrast here. Yeah. Take a look at that railroad car. It says Reading and Northern. I guess this must be the Reading Railroad of Monopoly fame. There's actually a cute little station down there. Probably can't see it. Let's see if I can zoom in. I just was too lazy to walk all the way down there. Well, let me just say, I just had the most interesting and enjoyable experience at this barbershop I've ever had in any barbershop. It starts out that, like, I go there and there's probably 5 people there waiting in chairs. So I'm like, oh, looks like it's going to be a while. But he had like coffee, a big coffee pot, like one of those church coffee pots full of good coffee, and all these like donuts and Swiss rolls, all these snacks to eat. So and all books and magazines and everything. And basically the Port Clinton barbershop is in an antique store. And so just all these eclectic things to be looking at as you're sitting there waiting. And so wait I did. About an hour and a half later, there's 2 barbers, a woman and a guy. Frank is the guy, I don't know what the woman's name is. But anyway, after about an hour and a half, the woman takes the woman that came in after me and sits her down, and I'm like, well, maybe she had an appointment, or maybe she's just a townie, so she gets better, first service or whatever. But you gotta remember, like, I've been sitting there for an hour and a half, right? And like, the drawer of the coffee and the pastries is kind of worn off. So finally Frank finishes his customer, and it's my turn. So I get into the seat. And he goes, I'll be with you in a minute. And he goes into the back room, I think to eat his lunch. So I'm sitting there. Meanwhile, the woman finishes the woman. And so her chair is empty, and she takes the next guy who came in after me and starts cutting his hair. Meanwhile, I'm waiting for Frank. I mean, you know, being from New England, you just, you know, and it's like, okay, just let it roll. Let it roll. So anyway, after a while, Frank comes back with a mouthful of food, still chewing it, and you know, proceeds to put the apron on me and get me ready for my haircut. And he starts talking to me. He goes, "Yeah, so what did you used to do?" I said, "I was a software engineer." He goes, "You retired?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You got enough money?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "No, you don't." And then he proceeds to talk about the state of the world and everything like that. Got me all riled up, all pissed off. I'm like, you know, for the most part, I like to just stick my head in the sand and ignore the world. And Frank, I don't know how he did it, but he kind of like changed the subject or whatever. And I mean, in the meantime, let me just say, he has the best music playing. He had the first Jethro Tull album, then he played some you know, it's that guy that does Folsom Prison. I can't think of his name. Anyway, not Folsom Prison, that's Elvis. I'm stuck at Folsom Prison. I shot a man just to watch him die. Come on, the Man in Black, Johnny Cash. Played Santana. He had awesome music. B.B. King, awesome music playing. So then he goes, "I'm a guitar player." And I said, "Well, I kind of figured that based on the 15 guitars you get all around the shop." And he says that on Fridays they actually jam at 3 o'clock, and people come to the barber shop to jam from all the way from Philadelphia. I guess it's a big thing. So we just started talking about bands and playing, and he basically took me being pissed off, brought me back to like my childhood band playing days, and it was awesome. We had a real connection formed. And he was just such a super nice guy. He's 75 years old. And he says to me, he goes, "Yeah," he goes, "as you can see, we don't rush for anybody." I'm like, well, I'm thinking to myself, well, that's the truth. And meanwhile, this guy, Steve, who's basically, I think he just hangs out in the barbershop, but he's the snack getter. He comes back with like 2 bags full of snacks. And he gives me a package of peanut butter filled cookies, chocolate covered cookies. Said, "Here, take these on the trail with you." I'm like, man, I said, I've eaten so many snacks, you had to go out and get more? And then he had some Swiss rolls. He's like, "Here, eat these Swiss rolls before you go." I mean, it was just great. I tell you, I wish I was there on a Friday, because I would just love to be there when they're all jamming. And I guess Frank plays the guitar and the harmonica. So, anyway, I guess on Facebook, if you look up Port Clinton Barbershop, I guess they got some clips of them jamming out. Anyway, it ended up being like the best experience ever. Everything on this trail, it's like freaking magic. It's just like, it's just unbelievable, the things that happen. They're just so totally awesome. I mean, I can't give it justice for the feelings and emotions that I actually went through in that barbershop, but I really felt a connection to all those people. Steve, the cookie getter, and Frank, the barber. Anyway, just wanted to relay that. I have the feeling Kilroy's going to be wondering where the hell I am. I'm going to be like 4 hours late showing up at the campsite. I can close an hour of that, but maybe 3 hours late. Anyway, just talk to you later. Here we go, under the highway. Any bums here hanging out? Nope. Just those on the trail. So Steve also told me he showed me pictures of his 4-year-old daughter playing the piano. And I kind of chuckled because I'm thinking to myself, okay, Steve, you 75-year-old guy, what kind of a young woman have you got? Well, come to find out, it's not that he has a young woman. He said that, I guess, a high percentage, I don't know what the percentage is, of babies born in this area are addicted to heroin. So he and his wife adopted this 4-year-old girl at 75, and they're raising her. So, and just another blessed thing Frank is doing. So the peanut shop has all kinds of homemade candies, fudge, trail mix, chocolate covered pretzels, every kind of candy you can imagine. It was actually a really large peanut shop. You can have a Port Clinton. Port Clinton has a barbershop, a peanut shop, one restaurant, the Port Clinton Hotel, which is closed for the month of May, and I guess a Microtel, but you couldn't book it because some utility companies booked all the rooms. So there's nothing in this little town. And but this candy shop was one of the most extensive candy shops I've ever seen. It was like 2 full rooms of different types of candy. And the funny thing is, not only did they have the homemade candies and fudge, but they also had candy cigarettes. I didn't even know they still made those. I felt like buying a pack for Chris. Anyway, it was just an unbelievable experience. One of the best on the AT. I had a bunch of different emotions, and it's just kind of hard to explain, man, how that happens. But it was absolutely great. That's the beauty of the AT. You don't know what's going to happen. When something usually does, it's a fabulous experience. Actually, now that I think of it, I think that would be a great Halloween candy to give out. Imagine being the house that's been giving out packs of candy cigarettes to the kids. That'd be freaking awesome. All right, this is definitely the view of the day. Up here at Pulpit Rock. Looks like a little hazy over there. It's too bad it wasn't clearer.